Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products. Developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. That's AEROLARRI.com. And use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. He's back. Hey, it's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. Keith's with me every other week, and we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Everybody, including myself, missed you on the last news and headlines show, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that. And the funny thing is I did get a couple emails myself of people saying the same thing. It was a very scary situation. We actually had 2 hurricanes within 2 weeks. The very first one, Helene, that's where we got a lot of flooding, and that's where most of our damage came from. And then they scared the crap out of us, so we left for Milton. That was really a wind event here, so there's a lot of branches and stuff down like that. But the house came through okay. We had very little damage. A couple things got hurt, but for the most part, anything that can be replaced will be replaced, so feel pretty good about it.
That's awesome, buddy. We're glad to have you back.
Well, thank you so much.
Let's start off like we always do with a production update from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
Absolutely. So our last count of current 2025 Corvette bins, we're looking back at the last week, and we see that the Stingray is actually off to another great start with 4,003 built, while the Z06 is at 1,027 and the E-Ray is at 228. So we're looking at so far a total of 5,258 Corvettes produced so far for the 2025 model year. Again, a great start. We just started September 9th, so we're well on the way. We're going to talk about this a little bit more in the 2024 production stats, but I went back and I looked at the current breakdown for these numbers. And right now, the plan is building 70% Stingrays, 19.5% Z06s, and a little over 4.5% or so E-Rays. It's still a nice mix in there. We'd still like to see that E-Ray number come up a little bit. But for the most part, they are cranking out these cars, seeing really no issues.
That's great. And we also have constraints for October, too, don't we?
Yeah, the last constraint report really gave us some good news because now we see that all three colors are available for unlimited ordering. This is the Sebring Orange Metallic, Hysteria Purple, and the Competition Yellow. They can be ordered across the board now. They always did that little ramp up first, but that's open. For the Stingray, same old Q9i gloss black wheels, and then there's a limit on 1LT trim packages. For the E-Ray, this is interesting because it's carbon fiber related. You couldn't get the visible carbon fiber ground effects with the E-Ray. They are only saving those for the Z06 and those cars that have the high wings. If you did the painted carbon fiber, you have to pair that obviously to the painted carbon fiber high wing. And then the only other thing we saw was the gloss black spider forged wheels for Z06 as well. We got some new stuff coming online. We're still waiting to see some of those new wheels, I believe, for the Z06. For the most part, it's a pretty standard constraint report from what we've seen over the last few months.
All right, that sounds good then. We also had the 2025 E-Ray officially arrive down under, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah, this is the 2025 model. So when I was looking at the production numbers, there's actually kind of a gap in there at the beginning of the 2025 model year for the E-Ray. And it looks like, well, hey, maybe that's what they were doing is they were building some E-Rays for export. Australia and New Zealand got their cars. That was announced by GM Specialty Vehicles. There's nice because now you got some comparison videos coming out from some of the Australian magazines down there that are driving the E-Ray and the Z06. For those that are wondering, the starting MSRP for the E-Ray in Australia is $275,000.
Ooh.
So that's Australian dollars, and that's also before what they call their on-road costs, which adds taxes and licensing and all some other stuff. And I hear that's a hefty number as well. Again, if you want to see some track tests of the E-Ray and the Z06 together on YouTube with right-hand drive configurated cars, there's some cool stuff that's out there right now.
And didn't GM Specialty Vehicles release a new Corvette video too?
Oh, Steve, it's so good. Yeah. If you haven't seen this, it's really one of the best overall Corvette commercials I've seen. They call it Love is All Around. It features a lady driving an E-Ray, a man driving a Stingray, and then there's some back and forth on the track between these two cars when suddenly a white Z06 comes up and joins the fun with them. I said in my blog post that it's really cool because the vehicles are doing the talking, but the visuals from it, it's like an emotional reaction from how the drivers are feeling that fun and freedom and the competition. So, I mean, it's really a fantastic video. Obviously, we'd love to see that over here, but it's right-hand drive cars. But it's really one of the best Corvette commercials I've seen.
Nice. And you can see it on CorvetteBlogger.com, so make sure to check that out. Also, buddy, I was really excited about this. We got a top speed for the C8 ZR1 at 233 miles per hour.
Once again, unthinkable, right, Steve? I mean,
yes.
No one, I don't think, expected that. I think a lot of people are thinking 212 was the C7. Maybe we're looking at 220, 225, somewhere in there. For them to go 233 is just amazing. This was done with GM President Mark Royce doing the driving. The test was conducted at the ATP track in Papenburg, Germany, and it was the same red Mist ZR1 that we saw the Corvette team driving at the Nürburgring last month. When Chevy does these top speed runs, they actually run in two directions, and then they average the difference. So the first run netted a top speed of 233.08, and then their second run came in at 233.50. Again, amazing times, but here's the thing. During the testing, they had 5 engineers, and then they had 2 ZR1 development cars, and they all exceeded 230 miles an hour across multiple runs. It's a fantastic event. The video out there, you got to watch it if you haven't seen it. The ZR1 that they used is just a standard chassis in the Aero package with the standard low spoiler. Had carbon fiber ground effects, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, and aluminum wheels. I think other than some racing seats, this is like the car that people are trying to buy these days.
Yeah. You know what? I watched the video, and Mark Royce was obviously, like you said, driving the car, but he had a passenger. So if you get a real race car driver and no passenger, I bet that ZR1 is going to go 235 plus miles per hour.
It might have had it in there. On one of those runs, if you would have had a good tailwind on it, might have even been higher. We saw that, I think, with the C8 ZR1, the difference between the two directions was like 2 or 3 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Here, it was a very small window of difference. So, again, 233 miles an hour for the Corvette ZR1. Amazing.
That is truly amazing indeed. If you have a C8 Z06 with leaky engine coolant, we've got a service bulletin all ready to go to get that fixed.
Yeah, the good news is it doesn't look that major. If you're seeing engine coolant on the ground on the front of the engine, this was for the 2023 and 2024 Corvette Z06s after the car's been parked for a little while. It looks like it's just a hose clamp. So if you're seeing that stuff, you might be able to reach around there and look at it yourself, but take it to the dealership. They'll get investigated and hopefully remedy the situation. But it looks like it's just a hose clamp that was improperly installed.
No, that's good. Maybe you just tighten that thing up and you're good to go then, right?
Looks like it, yep.
Awesome. And we got 2024 stats for the Corvette, which is great. This is really early too, isn't it?
Last year, there was all that work. They had the extended year. They ran 17 months for 2023. And that's how we got up to that 53,000 cars produced. This was a more standard year, September to September. This is kind of what I call a typical production year. And I think this is what C8 planners have been hoping for. In that run, they produced 42,934 Corvettes. For the most part, there's no supply chain interruptions or other external factors which significantly impacted production during the model year. I'll run through some of these numbers real quick. I know doing numbers on podcasts is sometimes tough to follow along, but I know people want to know this. So best-selling model by far, Stingray Coupe with 42%. The Stingray Convertible had 29.8%. That was followed by the Z06 Coupe at 12.5%. And then the Z06 Convertible with 12.2%. The E-Ray Coupe, 1.4%. And then the E-Ray Convertible, 1.9%. As we know, the E-Ray came in late, did a really slow ramp up. I think the overall numbers were like about 3% or so for the E-Ray. Overall, it was a good production number. I know people love to know about colors. I'll just run through them real quick. I won't give percentages. The first 4 colors are like high and above the rest of them. So they're Arctic White, Torch Red, Black, and Red Mist. And then we're followed by a new color, Seawolf Gray, Hypersonic Gray, which was retired, Riptide Blue, Rapid Blue, Carbon Flash, and then Amplify Orange, again, retired color, Ceramic Matrix Gray, Silver Flare, and then the last 2 colors, Cacti and Accelerate Yellow. Accelerate Yellow, these produce color 2.6%, and only 1,133 of those are out there. We also have these figures for the external colors by model. You can check that out on CorvetteBlogger.com. And then finally, if you add up all the production numbers in C8, we are at 169,134 Corvettes produced during the C8 generation. They are really moving some Corvettes. I think we're going to have another banner year this year.
I think so too, buddy. Let's take our first break. When we come back, up next is Corvette Racing and Corvette Rumors here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of affirming and promoting the preservation and restoration of the Corvette. 50 years as the foremost Corvette collector car organization for building value with its prestigious awards. Have you ever considered joining NCRS? Over 70,000 people have. We're so much more than just the nuts and bolts. The NCRS flight judging program can and often does increase the value of America's sports car by researching and publishing the leading tech manuals and judging guides for the 1953 through 2007 Corvettes, by training the best judges and by hosting local, regional, and national judging events. And when you join, you'll get award-winning magazines like Corvette Restore and Driveline all throughout the year. Joining is simple and easy. Just go to ncrs.org and sign up. There are NCRS chapters all throughout the U.S. and all around the world. Chances are there's a local chapter near you. So join NCRS today at ncrs.org. We come for the Corvettes. We stay for the friendships made along the way.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
For the best in CB Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray aftermarket carbon fiber replacement components and body kits, check out RacingSportConcepts.com or call 1-800-815-3751. Tell them Steve sent you to save 10% with coupon code Corvette Today.
You're listening and watching Corvette Today with Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. I know you want your Corvette looking its best, so dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty too. So visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call. 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. Back with me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car every other week. In the second segment, we always talk about Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, how did Corvette racing do in Atlanta for Petit Le Mans?
And it was just, again, another tough race for both the number 3 and the number 4 Corvettes. The number 3 car actually had damage during the Thursday night practice, and they actually really had to scramble to make the race on Saturday morning. That number 3 car would actually finish in 5th place in class. They were actually able to be competitive once they got back together. The number 4 Corvette got hit by an LMP3 car during the race, damaged the front and rear suspensions, and they knocked them down like 50 laps. They were actually able to repair, but once they got out there, their race was basically over with. The good news is that the Corvette racing team won the IMSA Michelin Endurance Cup Manufacturers Championship. This is based on the 5 IMSA endurance races that included Petit Le Mans. I think it's been a little while since we won that one, maybe 2015 or so. Again, a really good result there. And then our friends at AWA Racing had some great news. They actually had their ticket punched for an automatic entry to the 24 Hours Le Mans next year because they won the Bob Aiken Award. The Bob Aiken Award is given to the team with the highest rated bronze driver. Ore Fedani on the team is that guy, and so they're going to Le Mans next year, so that's good news for them. The Corvette Z06 GT ZR program returns to IMSA competition in January for the Rolex 24. Steve, that's like only a month and a half away or so.
I know, it's crazy how quickly this goes. We're already getting ready for 2025.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. And we also had some news from DXDT Racing. They're going to go in the IMSA GTD class next year, aren't they?
Yeah, they had that fantastic season in the GT World Challenge America. Obviously, Tommy Milner was one of the co-drivers there, but they made the announcement they are moving up to IMSA's GTD class with a single entry Z06 GT3R. Of course, Tommy won't be part of that team, but now that gives us 2 Corvette Z06s to root for in GTD, in addition to our 2 Corvette Racing GTD Pro classes. Pretty exciting 4 cars to watch for next season.
That's great. I love it. In the rumors category, Keith, we think we saw some Zora prototypes in a Colorado parking garage, didn't we?
Yeah, so Corvette engineers, they were out doing some what we assumed to be high altitude testing. They were like at 9,000 feet.
Wow.
Where they were. The prototypes were actually discovered parked in a hotel parking garage. A guy videotaped that and shared it with Mike Brink on the Brink of Speed YouTube channel. He actually got some great looks at these cars. Looking at it head on, we see that E-Ray style cooling radiator on the front driver's side of the car, which tells us that these are most likely the Zora prototypes. The really interesting thing is that the guy who captured the video says he was able to see inside the engine hatch on one of the Zoras.
Ooh.
And he says it resembled the ZR1's LT7 twin turbo engine, but instead of that blue cover, it has a black cover on it. Again, we're thinking, wow, if this is the Zora's hybrid system similar to the E-Ray, we could be looking at 1,224 horsepower combined. Again, no one would have thought that just a few years ago. If that's what it is, man, that's just going to be fantastic. And it gives us something else to target, some more expensive cars to go after.
Yeah, that's incredible. 1,224 horsepower would be unbelievable.
Unthinkable, Steve. Unthinkable.
Unthinkable is the word for sure. All right, buddy, time for our final break. When we come back, it's the fun, lighter side of Corvette. Up next on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
This is the Corvette Today podcast with Steve Garrett.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. You want your Corvette looking its best, I know you do, so dress it up with bright chrome or black chrome wheels. Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels, do a wheel exchange, and you get a 5-year warranty too. So visit wheelcraft.com or simply give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. If you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that we cover on the show, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always cover the fun, lighter side of Corvette. Keith, this is great. From the National Corvette Museum, Amy Harden is returning, and she's now Development Director at the museum.
Amy was previously with the NCM from 2018 to 2020 as the Director of Philanthropy, and she's responsible for developing, establishing, and carrying out effective multi-year fundraising programs and other activities to support the National Corvette Museum. I thought this was interesting because you talked about this before, Steve. One of her previous signature accomplishments at the NCM was developing the Elfie's Silver Pearl Sisterhood group.
Yes.
And then she also helped secure funding for the E. Pierce Marshall Performance Gallery. Very glad to have Amy back to the National Corvette Museum and looking forward to saying hi to her at the Bash next April.
Yeah, we're going to have Amy on the show, as a matter of fact, coming up pretty soon. It's great to have Amy back at the museum. We always talked about the C8 ZR1 going 233 miles per hour. We had a 2006 Corvette Z06 with an LS engine running a standard mile at a record 264 miles per hour. Wow.
Again, amazing speed. This is a twin-turbo Corvette with a built motor. I think it's got really big turbos on it, like the ZR1, 76 millimeters maybe.
Nice.
But it makes 2,200 horsepower, and it's street legal. He actually had some engine issues during the event, so he only got that one run in, but that one was all he needed to set that record. Kelly Beese, I believe his name is, 263.93 miles per hour in the standing mile. Just amazing.
That's incredible. And this next story probably should have been in our rumors section, but we think that the Zora is benchmarked by the McLaren and the Ferrari hypercars, not just the regular cars.
Yeah, we got 2 new competitors for the Zora, so I know that's one of the things that we'll be interested in seeing. Let's talk about them real quick. McLaren W1.
Yes.
A performance hybrid with 1,258 horsepower, weighs only 3,300 pounds. I think is based on some of their F1 work that they've done before.
Yep.
And then in the other corner of this contender, Ferrari F80, a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 with 3 electric motors to make 1,184 horsepower. Both of these cars will feature 7-figure price tags. The W1 starts at $2.1 million, and the F80 will set you back $3.925 million. And that's the start. You know, oh, if I want that paint, that's going to add $25,000. If you want this, it's going to add $30,000. So it's probably pretty interesting. But meanwhile, you know, we've got our Corvette team. If we're going to get that 1,224 out of the Zora, we might be a little competitive, although we're definitely going to be a little bit heavier than these cars.
Yeah, and for the McLaren, the W1 replaces the F1 and the P1, so that's going to be their new Halo car. And then for Ferrari, the F80 will replace the LaFerrari. So these are big cars that haven't even really come out yet. So the Zora is going to be really benchmarked against some really great cars.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody from GM is going to make the pitch, hey, you know, we need to buy a new F80 to, you know, test it out against our stuff. Because that's what they did with the SF90.
Yeah, that's basically true, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Well, that'd be pretty cool, and that's some great competition for sure. You know, Keith, I was watching television, I saw this Pepsi commercial, and there's a blue C8 Corvette in the commercial. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I was watching the baseball playoffs, and there it was. I'm like, wait, I've not seen this before. It's a commercial. They call it Chase Your Pizza with Pepsi. And the premise of the commercial is that Pepsi reps in the C8 Corvette are essentially chasing down pizza delivery drivers, and they run up to the door, and they offer the customers a 12-pack of Pepsi to chase your pizza with. We've actually found the commercial to be pretty hilarious. I think one of the funniest parts is at the end, the Stingray is doing donuts, and you hear the passenger say, there's nothing to grab onto, as he's trying to hold himself steady. So, see, even the Pepsi man thinks that the C8 should have a grab handle for those, quote, shut the front door moments.
Yeah, for sure. Our final story, buddy, this is actually pretty cool. Nicolas Cage just sold a 1969 Corvette on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't him, but it was a car that he previously owned.
Okay.
You know, he had a pretty extensive collection going back. This is just one of his cars. It's a beautiful Cortez silver interior, 427 with a 390 horsepower V8 in it. The auction ended with the car selling for $55,553. So got a really good price on a 427 1969 Corvette. The provenance of having something owned by Nicolas Cage would be pretty cool.
My wife would like to have that car. She's a big Nicolas Cage fan. I wish I had known. I would have been on it on Bring a Trailer for her. Say, here, honey, here's a Corvette for you, and it used to be owned by Nicolas Cage.
There you go.
You're welcome very much. Well, buddy, it's great to have you back home on Corvette Today and our news and headlines show. We will see you in 2 weeks, okay?
Sounds great, Steve. Glad to be here. If we see you out on the streets, make sure you keep waving.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Ciocca Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. True Wealth and Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Racing Sport Concepts at RacingSportConcepts.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.